Coming to you live from their studio in South Florida, Twist Gaming. Featuring lead broadcaster, Matt Koza. Co-host and creative genius, Josh Perry. Co-host and interviewer extraordinaire, Ann Lazito. Co-host and marketing mogul, Aaron Murphy. With appearances from special guest, Lucy. Welcome to Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We're Twist Gaming, and this is our first impression session of our Spotlight stream. If you haven't had the chance to watch our Spotlight video, definitely pause for the cause. Go check out the video on demand. And tonight we had the pleasure of showing off Dragon Ball Z Power Up by USAopoly, so big shout out to them for sponsoring this stream and all of this week's streams. So what is our first impression session? We talk about our favorite aspects of the game, any constructive criticisms that we might have, and the most important question of the evening. What is that, Anne?
What would you like for dinner?
No, we already ate. It is, would you play this game again? But first and foremost, Josh, what kind of game is Dragon Ball Z Power Up?
It's a point-based game where you're trying to... let's go over the board real quick because it really explains better the board shown. So you get a roster of cards. So Matt, can you show one of the roster cards off real quick?
I sure can. This is a lineup card.
Lineup card. And basically you score points on these characters at the end of a round. So you want to try to get them up as high on the board as you go. Only thing is when you get to level 10, everyone votes. And if anyone votes no, that character dies off, goes off the board, and you can't score on them at all. So you're trying to negotiate kind of people. There's a little bit of negotiation and stuff in there. We didn't play that much our way, but like if you go in a 6-player game, there's a lot more negotiation. Be like, I'll vote yes if you vote yes, or stuff like that. So basically, it's a point game. It goes over 3 rounds. You're going to get a new lineup each round and do that. There's a couple of cool tokens you pick up throughout the game. And
Dragon Ball tokens,
and some cards that you can also get.
Capsule Corp cards
that give you some special one-time abilities or have immediate effects.
Radio. So, first aspect we'll talk about is favorite parts of the game, and we go to our winner. And tonight, Josh, you are the winner. Can you please give us some of your favorite aspects of the game?
Not only in this game, Joshua, but in life.
Dragon Ball Z is life.
Hold on, he's got to power up first. 4 hours later.
4 seasons later, Matt.
Yeah,
4 seasons.
Okay.
So Dragon Ball, I enjoy the game. It's a very light game. It's a very good entry-level game to play with people, especially with people that aren't into games. If they're into Dragon Ball, it's a very good introduction to it. It's got more meat than your standard, like what everyone plays, like Monopoly, Clue kind of thing. I feel like this has a little bit more meat to it. It's still not meaty, but it's still a very good entry-level game. But uses some more strategy and some more techniques that more hobby board games use.
Yeah, I'd have to concur with that. It is a very light game, very easy to pick up, but it's got some underlying strategy to it that you can definitely kind of get in your own head about with the voting system and how you want to go about doing things. And the game seems like it would play dynamically different with the player count. So with the 3-player game, we each had a lot of no cards, so we're able to change the strategy around based on that. But in a higher player count game, like a 6-player game, each person's only going to get 2 no cards. So it's going to drastically differ how you're playing, because more than likely there's not going to be as many vote outs. In our first round, we had almost all the players off the board.
It's because you're aggressive and you're trying to get rid of everybody.
That's true.
So you guys are talking a lot about the gameplay, and I think you hit the nail on the head talking about this being just a little bit heavier than an entry-level game, a very easily accessible game for non-gamers, for younger children, which makes this a bit of a family game. I want to talk a little bit about the actual game components.
Okay.
This board is so cool.
The board is awesome. I'm going to switch back over to it now. So if you turn it sideways, Anne.
So this is actually a 3D board, and they did the same thing with their Super Mario version, and this all kind of comes in the box, and it sits nicely in the bottom of the box, and I just think that it's a really great design. And with the concept of the game where you're going up levels, it's nice to kind of see that visualized. I really like the graphic design in the game all around. Josh pointed out something really great, and that's with the paper scorecards, where you can use these scorecards to keep track of your points during rounds, and it's set up in a way where it tells you here pretty much put your lineup card here when you're scoring so you can see how many points that you've got in each round.
It wasn't terribly evident to me right away, but once you pointed it out, that's really awesome graphic design work there to incorporate that in, and it's very clean the way that it's done.
Yeah.
So big props to them for that. I really did enjoy that.
The standees are a nice thick, I mean you could go that way too, because the standees are a nice thick cardboard too. They're not poor construction quality, which is...
Is that a thick with a K or 2 C's?
No, Matthew. But it's just, it's not a flimsy game.
Yeah, everything's very sturdy. Even the Dragonball, the Dragon.
No, chits
Ball
are good. The
tokens.
cards are actually good lidding quality, where typically your Monopoly, like your mass market games, are like paper, almost barely cardstock.
Yeah.
All right. So, I love the board. The board's just such a eye-grabbing aspect of the game. If you see this set up in an area where there's a handful of people around, people are going to be like, oh, what's that?
It's rough to get really creative with games, and I feel like USAopoly, a lot of the games that they have tend to be geared toward the more entry-level games, and matching up the right franchises with those entry-level or a little bit heavier games. So I like when they can diversify and differentiate what they're doing when they come up with something unique.
Yeah.
I always like any game that's got something that's different,
Any other positive aspects that either one of you wanted to talk about?
Josh wore a Saiyan outfit with a scouter. That's positive for my night.
So if there's not anything else, then I'm going to switch over to the constructive criticisms, where we talk about parts of the game that we would change given the opportunity, or maybe tweak. And this is very important to note here that this is our first playthrough of this game. This is our first impression. So this is based off of personal opinion and the fact that we haven't gotten multiple playthroughs under our belts for this. I want to start here just over two really almost trivial things, but I would have enjoyed it tremendously thematically. So as you see, the board's got levels here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. It would have made me so happy if they just put a K afterwards, so it was 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and then when you got to the last level, it's 10,000, so that way you can just do the Dragon Ball Z meme thing and scream, "It's over 9,000!" I think that would have been so perfect and just a little simple thing to do.
I do think it was a wasted opportunity.
It's a meme thing, so I could kind of see why not, but at the same time, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the last thing is, so the kind of backstory of this is you're participating in the tournament of power, not the tournament of power, but you're participating in like the World Martial Arts Tournament. You're trying to see who's going to be the champion, right? It's a voting system with yes or no. I think I would have preferred if it was like these said winner instead, and these said like ring out or KO or something instead of no.
Oh, yeah?
I just think a little thematically that would have been better as opposed to yes or no. And it's not anything that would require a major change. Just sticking with the Dragon Ball Z theme, I think that would have made me... It would have taken it to the next level for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really... The theme here is not very straightforward because also you're going up the steps to collect the Dragon Balls to go and see the dragon, and then it's also a martial arts contest. So I think that the concept is really... Like, what they're doing is so not concise. I mean, it's not important to the game.
No, not at all. I just think, you know...
But I agree. If you're going to go with a theme and kind of just those were two opportunities.
It could have kicked it up a notch a little bit.
I thought that the Dragon Ball tokens were going to be a lot more... The percentage of Dragon Ball tokens were going to be more positive than what I experienced. I want to say that I felt like 80 to 90% of the Dragon Ball tokens that I picked up were negative.
I think that might have been a real bad luck of the draw for you because I think 90% of them were positive for me.
I don't think I got one negative one.
So,
Even going down a level, Matt got one negative one.
Yeah, I
skip
got
turn.
one
You got one
negative
skip
one.
turn. And the go down a level, I don't even think it was a bad thing because you can move someone that you don't even care about up and get it. Like, you don't always move your own characters.
But no, I definitely see where your head was
Yeah.
at with that because you drew really awful tokens. But then,
Yeah.
like, putting together what we saw the rest of the game, and I think we cycled through all of them or almost all of them.
There was a handful left. I think these are the ones here. There were another turn, go down a level, play at any time, draw a card, 1 point at the end.
So we saw all of them.
Yeah, we saw
throughout
all
the
of
game.
them. There was
I-
only of the one of the red ribbon ones.
Yeah.
I never got a capsule card, and that made me a little upset. I would have liked to have seen more opportunities for the capsule cards to come out.
I agree. I think the capsule cards were not utilized enough for my liking.
I mean, I was kind of seeing how you guys were going, as you were going through, and it seemed like there's like 4 or 5 different things that you could do with the capsule cards, and I just feel like that there wasn't enough opportunity to get
Yeah,
them out.
there's not many opportunities to get them for sure. How many? I'm just looking really quick. I see 4, 5 of the draw capsule card.
I have 2 in my
tokens.
hand.
Okay, so there's 7 of them.
So maybe it was just my love.
But again, it's a random draw, so you might have all 7 of them on the board one time, and then you might have none of them for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So that's one thing where multiple playthroughs would you probably see balance it out.
Yeah. What about you, Joshua?
I would have liked to see the shoot the moon option for every round. I think that's a fun extra rule
Yeah, I agree.
to try to do it. Doing it the last round, everyone's just kind of on edge for that. Where your shoot the moon is typically you don't worry about it most. Like if you play hearts or something like that, you typically don't worry about someone shooting the moon until you like later in the game where like I think that guy's trying to shoot the moon. Let's just end this now so he can't do it. So if you start someone like knock out 5 guys, be like, all right, can't let a 6-1 get knocked out because that's gonna be that would be a full lineup card.
Conversely, I think that it would be a good option as well to have every round, just because if you have a lot of your players eliminated right off the bat unintentionally, you get kind of discouraged, saying, "Oh, I've only got 2 characters left, and they're both on level 1 right now. I'm not going to get any points for this round." But you could be in your head, "Oh, wait a minute! If I get these guys out, I've got 2 no cards left. If I can get them up to the top, I know I can get them out."
Right.
So it might be a neat option to try every round.
That's what's
just
kind of nice.
Those opportunities don't present themselves quite as often.
That's what's kind of nice about, games like this is those kinds of rules, like even in the 3rd round, it kind of gives you an idea and you can always play house rules.
That's very true. Absolutely.
This is not something where like a mechanic or a component would prevent you from using that as like a house rule.
Yeah. I would like the only complaint I like to see since I'm a big DBZ fan would be more kind of DBZ things like maybe some flavor text or like I don't even know where you put it, but a little bit more just tie it because the game does have a little bit. I don't want to say it's a tacked on feel, but it's very lightly skinned.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
Even looking at the board itself, it's the grass from like the Cell Saga when they're in the field. But I think it would have been cool to see like one level is the ring from the World's Martial Arts Tournament, and then you have like the grass on the outside, and then maybe the upper level is the sky, like Kami's Palace, the sky. And then we're getting into like
We climb Kami's Palace. That would be cool.
Every
Just climb up the pole.
time that I've seen the dragon, he's up in like some celestial place, and I was really confused as to why he was in grass.
No, he's just wherever the Dragon Ball spawn.
Yeah.
I guess
He's just really tall.
he's giant. He's awesome.
You know what his name is?
I forget.
Shenron. With Tekron.
Now I'll never forget it.
All right. Any other parts of the game that you would tweak if given the opportunity, folks?
No.
Okay. Most important question of the evening. Would you play Dragon Ball Z Power Up again? Going to the far end of the table with Josh.
Yeah, definitely play this again. Definitely with an entry-level group. If I wanted to get some anime fans or something into board game, this is a really good game to do it with.
Absolutely. And
This game is definitely something that I would bring out again. I'd probably bring it out with the kids. It is deceptively more complex than what it is, but that it is not complex, if that makes sense. So I expected just by, I think, the cutesy look and feel to it that it was going to be like a 5-minute kind of game, and it's not. It's a little longer. Maybe a lunch game.
Yeah, I think that the first round might have taken you guys by a little bit of a surprise, where I was just eliminating my characters left and right.
Yeah.
And you're just like, Matt's just trying to get his characters to the top to win. And then it's like, wait a minute, he's voting all of them out. But no, I would definitely play this again. I agree wholeheartedly with you, Anne, that this is a game that is easy to learn, but is deceptively meaty on the back end. But not too much so. It's definitely playable at any level. So you can play this on a very straightforward strategy, or you can get kind of complex with what you're doing. Huh?
You can play this on a bus on a plane. I'm trying to think of the Dr. Seuss thing.
Fox
All
and
right.
Socks.
Well, with that, though, this is going to conclude our first impression session here for Dragon Ball Z Power Up by USAopoly. And again, if you haven't had the chance to watch our spotlight of this game, go back, take a look at the video on demand. We had a lot of fun playing it, and you should have fun watching it, too. We didn't ask Andrew where it's available, but typical USAopoly stores, check your friendly local game store. Should be available
It's probably
online.
in GameStop and
Yeah, exactly.
a bunch of other normal places since it's a
Pretty-
big brand.
Pretty big IP.
Yeah.
But with that, this is going to conclude tonight's session. We would like to thank Dragon Ball Z Power Up and USAopoly for sponsoring this stream and all of this week's streams. But signing off for now, I'm Matt.
Man,
I'm Josh.
We're Twist Gaming. Good night, everyone.
good night.